Hey, this is BAO Breaks Down, and I'm going to show you the evolution of the song Perpetual Heartbreak from demo to final version. Let's go! So, this is my very first video in this series, and I hope you leave me some feedback so I can improve. Perpetual Heartbreak started with some lyrics or some poetry that I wrote in my sketchbook, and also known as my teenage girl journal. The very first recording of it is actually an Instagram video, which I'll play for you here. You light another one and blow the smoke out of my window. Hey, it's what you're feeling now. Nobody taught you how to love again. After all that you've been through. That was actually all I had at that point, back in the day in April 2020. And this is the first recording, version 0.1, that I actually did in the computer, back in the day when you can still get haircuts. You can see I'm just playing it with some synth harpsichord type of sound. And I don't have all the lyrics at this point yet. I'll let you listen. You light another one and blow it out my window. Hey, it's what you're feeling now. Nobody taught you how to love again. After all that you've been through. So that was all I had at that point, and you can see that there wasn't, the full lyrics weren't there yet. Something else you might have noticed is that the song file is called Another One, and that was actually the song's title for the first few days that I was working on it. And it wasn't until I wrote the second part of the lyrics where the term Perpetual Heartbreak came around. So this is the second version of that, where there are lyrics, but there's no ending, so it's still only a minute long. After all that you've been through, the sun comes out, you stare a while, you'd rather just stay in your perpetual heartbreak. When I wrote that, I was like, oh, that's good. Came to talk, I let you cry, but now is not the time to tell you she never loved you like I do. So that's version 0.2, and this is when all the lyrics were written already. Still, fine-tuning here and there, but once the term Perpetual Heartbreak came around, and I was like, wow, that's a great image, right? Perpetual Heartbreak. That really sums up what I'm trying to do with this record. The rest of it came out so quickly and so easily. So you'll notice that that song is 1 minute long. The next version is 1 minute and 50 seconds, as you can see here. And it started growing to 2:50, and eventually it became 3 minutes and 13 seconds. So what happened there was I was fighting with the song to write the rest of it, quote unquote, because as a pop music person, I, immediately want to go with a standard song structure, like very Beatles style. But this song felt complete by the time we got to this 50-second version. And I decided, hey, what if I changed out some instruments, and by the time we get to the end of it, what if the end was just an instrumental and it let the listener fill in the rest of the story with their own story? And that's what this is. So by version 0.3, all I have is that mellotron sound and that soft piano sound, and I'm just building the foundation of this end part. By the next version, you'll see that I've introduced the rest of the instruments with some fake horns and some drums and some melted strings. So yeah, this song moved really fast. By this time, it was almost the final instrumentation already. But you can hear how crappy these horns sound. It's because it's a sampled French horn. And by this time, the strings and the horns, I've written those parts, but I really wanted to overdub those horns with real ones because synth horns or computer horns are so expressionless unless you play every single horn and you put a lot of effort into adjusting the expression of it. Expression basically is emulating how hard or soft a horn player is blowing into the horn. So see how these horns are all just flat? They don't have dynamics. When you throw the real horns on, oops, that's not it either. These are the real horns. They came in on version 1.4. And that was the emotion that the song deserved. So I'm just going to show you some of the brass sounds here, the horns. My initial horns were this and this. So there are two horn parts only. The first horn part, you can see there's a computerized French horn, and then two horn parts that are made from a real French horn, and a trombone. So I'll play those for you. And then the bottom, or the second horn part, is the lower horns that go like this. So again, these are French horn, another French horn, and a trombone. Together, they sound like this. And with the rest of the music, it sounds like this. So there was a lot of panning to be done, putting things left and right, so that you can make space for all of the instruments. But I'll go into that another time. And that's Perpetual Heartbreak's evolution. What started out with just a few lines of lyrics became more lines of lyrics, and then became all the lyrics with a little bit of instrumental at the end. And then that grew into the first 1/3 being lyrics and the second 2/3 being a long instrumental part. And I think it turned out really, really well. And I'll share more with you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys can subscribe or visit my website to support me and check out my other music. Thank you very much. Hit the subscribe button.